Welcome to the Do Zone, where entrepreneurs go to get things done. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. You can find me on all social media at JT Literally. Each week, I bring on experts from a variety of backgrounds to share their secrets on how to optimize performance so you can take massive action and crush your goals. The Do Zone is sponsored by Conversational Funnels, the new way to close deals in 2025 that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods everyone hates. We used this method to book 121 qualified sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, or endless social posting. You can download the free step-by-step blueprint that shows exactly how we did that at conversationalfunnels.com. Once again, that's conversationalfunnels.com. Today's guest is Jeremy LaDuke. Jeremy founded Epic9 Marketing Outfitters in 2014, and since then has helped hundreds of businesses navigate the marketing wilderness and reach their goals, and recently launched Climb Club, an online local marketing mastermind community. Jeremy is also the co-host of Marketing Trailblazers, Fireside Chats with Trailblazing CMOs, author of Climb, The Risks and Rewards of Elevating Your Brand, and co-founder of the Sky City Entrepreneur Center in Maryville, Tennessee. Jeremy, welcome to the Do Zone. Tell us something you believe is the key to getting stuff done that most people wouldn't think of.
So thanks for having me, Josh. Yeah, so I think for me, I can relate it back to me, and I'm sure there's other people that are in similar positions where you're kind of your brain's kind of scattered all the time. You got 1,001 things going on. You may be a little bit ADHD with things, and for me, what I found to get things done is to not be afraid to change systems for tracking those things. And not be afraid to go from paper to digital, but kind of just go with the system that works for you at that period in your life. I've tried to stick to kind of to-do lists and apps and different things. And I think for me, the key to being able to switch and be fluid with those is to make it something that I'm not super invested in either one way or the other. So that I don't invest a lot of time in setting something up. And I'm not that, guilt ridden if I leave it and pursue something else.
Mm.
So for me, it's writing it down, having that checklist, keeping track of it, blocking your time, but not being attached to a particular technology or app that makes you do it. Because
Yeah.
I feel like this is a totally unprofessional take on kind of how ADHD folks get stuff done. My gut instinct is that we get super excited about this particular avenue that we found, like this particular method, and we're all in it for like a week, and then it gets kind of old and laborious, and we kind of say, it's not as good as it doesn't have the warm fuzzies that it did when we first found it. And so we kind of leave it. And what I found is that in the past, I've invested a whole lot in getting the thing set up, right? Like, so learning the app and learning all the tools and features of it and everything. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
a few weeks later, it's wasted.
The same thing happened with my partner Anna was talking about this software called Motion, I believe. It's like this
Yeah.
AI schedule organizer or something, right? And she was like, "Cool, I need help and organizing my schedule." And then she
Yeah.
got in there, and it was so cumbersome to set it up. She's like, "This is a waste of time. I give up."
Yeah. Like if I knew that I could stay dedicated to like one system for a couple of years, I would wholeheartedly just invest that time to learn that thing. But I know I'm like I something shinier is going to come along in a
Yeah,
few weeks, and it's going to get my attention. And so I've just learned that for me to get stuff done, I I've got to be fluid with the system that I'm using.
yeah, makes sense. And really, the thing that I've learned in interviewing more than 250 people over the last 3 years of this show is the mechanism itself is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what machine you're using. It doesn't matter how many cranks it has, and it doesn't matter, how many shiny rainbows it shoots out. The only
Right.
thing that matters is, are you following a proven system that's going to get you a result on the other side? Period. Because if you're not doing that, no shiny object will save you. It's just going to distract you.
Yeah. I think that's a good like line to live by. No shiny object will save you in pretty much any
I'm gonna
situation.
get that. I'm gonna get that on my shirt. The do zone. No shiny object will save you. Yeah.
I like it.
And then I'll put Jeremy LaDuke at the bottom. Yeah.
Actually, it was your line. It
Oh,
wasn't
oh,
mine.
it's
It was
mine. But
yeah.
when you said it,
Yeah.
it sounded better. So yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be
So
weird to wear your own quoted shirt.
right, that's why I got to put your name on it. So here's one thing that I want to dig into. A marketing agency guy gives the advice that you may not really need to be hiring a marketing agency. So tell me about that. This is something that you put in the pre-show notes. You may not need to hire a marketing agency, and he's a
Yeah.
marketing agency. So
Yeah.
tell me more.
So a little backstory. Started Epic9 close to 11 years ago. And when we started out, we worked pretty much solely with kind of mom and pop local businesses, whether it was a retailer or even some small like healthcare practices. But they are all pretty small, not making a ton of money. Not They didn't have a huge budget, but the nature of marketing and video and social media and all the things 11 years ago was much different than it is today. And so it made sense, and it was a good investment to hire us to do some things, right? Um, but as the economy has changed, as technology has changed, and as the resources that everybody has access to has changed, it's made less and less sense for someone in that position. I mean, if you're a small business with making less than $1 million a year, it's made less and less sense for you to take that limited budget and go to a marketing agency, because if the marketing agency is worth their salt, probably half that budget is gone, right? Half that budget is going to the agency. But you really need, at that size, at that level of where you're at, you probably need all of that budget, or as much of that budget as you can, to go towards the things that are actually doing the work, the ads, the uh, any sort of sponsorships you might be doing in your local community, those sort of things. Um, and there's a very, very small chance that you're going to be able to afford an agency or a marketer that's worth paying. Because here's the other thing that's happened in the last 10 or 11 years is everybody's a marketer, right? I can throw a rock. I can go into town and throw a rock and hit 5 people who design websites, do social media, have a drone. We are a dime a dozen, right? We're everywhere. But not everybody's that good, right? So if you are a small business, you are in a much better position to take a limited budget and work your marketing as much as you can until you can afford to pay either an agency that you know and trust and is gonna return the results you need, or you can hire someone in house that can do those things. So that's kind of where we're at. We put that mark at that $1 million mark because most businesses are comfortable spending about 2 to 3% of their budget, of their yearly revenue, on a marketing budget. Um, if you go in that 3-5% range, you're looking at, for $1 million a year, you're looking at that around $2,000 to $3,000. So anything below that, again, it's probably too small to divvy up and pay an agency half and run ads or do SEO or do whatever you need with the other half. You're better off taking it and learning how to use it on your own until you can get over that mark. And then whenever you start talking about you're in that $2-3 million range, you've got a much bigger budget, and it doesn't get broken down, and it doesn't get diluted as fast, and you can actually get a good return by working with either someone in-house or an agency.
Okay, got it. And that makes a lot of sense because this is money that we're setting aside, and you really should set it aside. But if you're setting it aside to pay somebody and you don't have, back to what we were talking about earlier, if you don't have a proven system to get the results, then it doesn't matter if you hire the best driver if your car doesn't have any wheels. If you don't have an offer that converts, that grabs people's attention and makes them want to pay you, then the marketing guy is not necessarily going to solve that problem for you. Like, you really got to
Yeah.
dig to the roots and solve that problem first, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I would say definitely. And if you can do that on your own, fantastic. I like a lot of that is that branding messaging hurdle that it's hard for some businesses to get over. Um, so if you can do that, if you can tackle that and get yourself in a good, if you have the foundation, you can build that foundation for yourself. By the time you bring someone on to help you, you're going to be in a much better spot. Now we come in and we help businesses with their branding, with their messaging. We can come in and kind of do that because not everybody is great at doing that, right? If you're a business owner and you've got a really good craft and you make something really well, or you have a good service, you're not necessarily going to be great at forming and crafting the visual messaging identity of a brand. And so I would say that is the one thing that I would recommend that any business, if you're looking to invest in your marketing, invest it in your branding. That's going to be the one thing that pays off for you for years. If you can get your branding right at the beginning, it makes all your other marketing smoother, makes all your other marketing more efficient.
All right, got it. And so, well, tell me a little bit more about, you had various different companies and sections of your companies. And so tell me a little bit more about who you serve and who is a good fit to connect with you and how they can reach
Yeah.
out to
Yeah, so we've kind of got two categories of clients. One is kind of our comprehensive clients, where we're working with them on campaigns, larger projects, whether it's a website or a video production. Um, Sometimes we're managing social media, running ad campaigns, doing all this sort of thing. So that group of clients is really kind of in that 5 million and more a year in revenue, and it's really a wide swath of industries, everything from manufacturing to uh, medical practices to nonprofits even, and so that's anything and everything we serve under that branch. Climb Club is really intended and built for those businesses that are under that $1 million revenue mark, because we wanted to provide something to them, because you're in this kind of no man's land at that point where you need marketing, but you can't necessarily afford great marketing. And so you've got to figure out how to do the great marketing on your own. And so it's for those businesses that are local, that have some sort of local footprint, whether it's a brick and mortar or they're just involved in their community, but they're out there working with customers in their community. They're sponsoring the nonprofits in their community. They're doing those things. If you're in that category, then Climb Club is the place you can come, find the resources you need, and find a community of other local business owners that you can ask questions, give advice, and really kind of help push each other over that uh, mountain.
Great. Where can we learn? Where can we go to find out more
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah. So Epic9 is epic9.com. And you can find all of our stuff there. And then Climb Club is theclimbclub.com. And there's a link on there to my book as well called Climb. We just took the mountain rock climbing outfitter theme and ran with it. We tell people we help get you over your marketing mountains, give you the right tools and the right route to get you to the top. And so the book Climb is about a local brick and mortar book and toy store that has to rebrand and figure out their marketing. So every chapter, you're kind of following the story along of Eva Marley as she revitalizes her family's business. But you also have a lot of just nuts and bolts. Here's what you do with your marketing when you're at this stage. Here's how you talk to a web design. If you need to get your web design or your website redesigned, this is how you talk to a web designer. These are the things you need to be thinking about. There's a really kind of hands-on nuts and bolts type of info in there as well. So there's a link to the book on theclimbclub.com, and you can find out more there.
Excellent. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up from here. Thanks so much to our guest, Jeremy LaDuke, for sharing a little bit of wisdom about how he gets things done. For those of you who are motivated to join the Climb Club, you can go to theclimbclub.com, or you can learn more about Jeremy's agency at Epic9.com. And hey, if you're out there in the wild on your morning commute, or maybe you're doing some squats or selfies in the gym, snap that selfie and tag me at JT Literally. Show me what you do in the do zone. And one more time, if you want to stuff your calendar with qualified and motivated ideal clients who want what you have, you can download the Conversational Funnels Blueprint for free at conversationalfunnels.com. That's it. Let's get to work.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Do Zone podcast. If you're running a service-based business that's looking to grow this year, let's talk about how we can slingshot you into momentum with a quick injection of cash and sales. Our clients typically see results in as little as 7 days. To learn more about what we do, you could go to factor1.io. Once again, that's factor1.io. We'll see you next time.